I'm going to talk about, I suppose, Hockey Victoria and how it has, I think, reasonably successfully managed to embed diversity into many aspects of its business, including the role that the board plays within the organisation. In Victoria, there are about 22,500 participants. We're proud of that number because it's a significant increase over the last 5 years. Hockey Victoria is just about to release its new strategic plan for 2017-2020, and it focuses on 4 main things, which are growing, diversify, uniting and excelling. At Hockey Victoria, 40% of the members of the executive at general manager level are female, and at the board currently we have 50%. Our constitution mandates that of the 7 elected directors, no one gender may constitute less than 2. What this represents is about a minimum of about 30%, which is not perfect. And we've obviously got a way to go to really embed that aspect of our diversity on the board. But in fact, of course, for as long as I've been involved in Hockey Victoria Board, which is about four plus years, we have had around 50%, or in excess of 40%, I should say. And the reason for that is because you can see it's not embedded in our constitution as perhaps it should be, but because I think we've had a culture of high levels of female representation within our sport and within the governance of our sport, and also a strong commitment from the top down in our organisation, starting with the president, to have at least 50% female representation on the board. Hockey Victoria has done a lot of work over the last 3 or 4 years since I've been on the board to embed diversity in a range of day-to-day ways. It's set up an all abilities programs, including running sessions for the hearing impaired. It goes to schools, a whole range of schools, schools with able-bodied and disabled children, to spread the word about hockey and to run clinics. It's conducting a review at the moment of a mandatory girls-only competition. We have a lot of girls-only elements to our competition, and including a newly introduced under-10 all-girls competition. But we're looking at whether, in fact, what we should be doing is directing all girls to play all-girls hockey. We have 3 rounds a year, which are very important to us, 3 sporting rounds, which cover a weekend, and they are the Fair Go Sport round, where we look at, we focus on a particular aspect of social inequality, so we target anti-homophobic sentiments, or we might look at transgender issues in that particular round. We have a women's round where we celebrate women, and it's an amazing experience. If you have a look at our annual report, you'll usually see lots of fantastic pictures of what all of the clubs do for Women's Round, because it's led by Hockey Victoria but very much inculcated within the club culture, and they contribute by running pink cake stalls. We have pink socks for all players that weekend. I know it's a rather traditional colour, but it seems to work. It seems to resonate with most people. We also have a men's health round. In terms of embedding sort of in a policy sense within Hockey Victoria mandates that every club, which is an affiliate member, have a member protection information officer and an inclusion ambassador. Member protection officers, they both receive training from Hockey Victoria, and their roles obviously are to understand and deal with member protection issues much more effectively within their club organisations. And from an inclusion point of view, the inclusion ambassadors are tasked with making their clubs a safe, welcoming and inclusive place, which is the mantra of Hockey Victoria and many of its affiliate clubs. What we've also done with all of these initiatives around diversity is that we have underpinned them by bringing in a new system for promotion of teams into our top playing league, which is the Premier League. We say now that you are able as a club to have your top teams elevated into the top level of playing competition, the Premier League, not just based on your on-field ability, but on your off-field ability. And what we're going to look at in off-field is the state of your facilities, and very importantly, we're going to have a look at your governance. What policies do you have to embed all of the things that we think are important, like diversity, member protection, prudent financial management, constitutional reform, adoption of a lot of the HV initiatives around Women's Round or Fair Go Sport Round, the appointment of a Member Protection Information Officer. We've tried to say these are a good and reasonable platform on which all our community organisations should be based, and Hockey Victoria has taken the step over the last couple of years of seeking to embed that through a set of criteria that need to be met if you want to play and if you want to be promoted into the Premier League. As I said, we've got work to do, I think, in embedding the 40% gender minimum into our constitutions. With the Associations Incorporation Reform Act, a lot of, certainly Hockey Victoria and a lot of clubs have gone through the process of improving their constitutions, and they may have done what Hockey Victoria has done, which is dealt with gender minimum to some extent, but maybe not to the full extent expected these days. The benefits of a diverse board table, I think that the point that was made in the opening about the tipping point is really true. A lot of women will, it's a fact, will hold back and say, oh, look, it's not for me because I'm not capable, I'm not as good as that person. But if another woman is on there, or if there is a critical mass of women, it's harder for them to say no. They feel more secure and more confident and courageous about taking the step to sit on a board or sit in an executive role within management. Of course, I think it's true that a diversity, including gender diversity, but I also think age diversity, racial and cultural diversity is important in getting that spread of views, that reflection of the community that you're serving, that breadth of experience, and that ability to work cohesively together, which is critical for boards. You get that with a broader range of people. I also think that it's hugely important having gender diversity, well, all forms of diversity, but gender diversity in our case on our HV board in terms of role modelling, given that we have so many women and girls committing to the sport, both as players and as administrators. It's really important to say, if you want to sit on a board of the State Sporting Association or even the National Sporting Association, then you can. And we've got examples to show it. I also think it's really important within all walks of life, and particularly sport, to redefine that cultural norm, to say it's very normal for women to sit there on a 50-50 basis. It's very, very important, and it's very normal to have young people on boards and to have old people on boards, and people from a range of different backgrounds. It's about redefining that norm. The impact for our sport, as a consequence of the steps taken by Hockey Victoria in particular to embed diversity and to have a diverse board, what we've seen is that participation is increasing. Retention we still have to work really hard at, but the steps we've taken to embed diversity and to have diverse club organisations and Hockey Victoria board, we hope will improve retention. We've increased opportunities to take different pathways to playing pathways. You don't have to be a player, you can be an administrator, and you can a volunteer, which is critical to our sport. We're not a professional sport, we don't have a lot of money. It's absolutely critical that we continue to expand our volunteer base. So embedding diversity, making it okay for all different types of people to be involved in our sport, is a way of encouraging that the breadth of that volunteer base. We hope that, based on all of the research, the performance of the board will improve, and the performance of our executive will improve, and across our affiliates, the effectiveness of their boards and their management will improve for the benefit of our sport. We see diversity as important, critical to attracting sponsorship, which is very difficult these days, and certainly to pre-qualify for government funding. We hope that other sports will look at ours and be enthused by what we've been able to achieve in terms of embedding diversity, and they'll take the lead as well. We hope, generally speaking, that looking at our sport, which is truly for men and women, boys and girls, embedded in lots of different ways, we hope that we'll be a lead. Thanks very much for your time.